everyone, it's Bob Perkins with AA-ISP's Inside Sales Studio, bringing you another Monday Morning Sales Minute. This week, we have Michael Tuso, who is Head of Sales Development and Enablement for Chili Piper. Michael, welcome to the show.
Yes, so glad to be here, Bob.
Well, it's good to have you. You know, we talked earlier about something that oftentimes gets overlooked when someone's either building a new SDR team or maybe they're in the early stages of managing an SDR team. And I thought it was pretty important. So what is your tip on that today?
Yeah, absolutely. First, thank you so much. I'm super excited to chat with you today and share some tips with your members. I just kind of noticed over and over again a recurring theme as I talk to founders and sales leaders and first-time managers especially, this kind of recurring theme coming up, particularly with companies in earlier phases, so less than 10 million ARR, like those types of companies. They're first setting up shop, or maybe they're a little bit larger company and they haven't ever explored like the SDR role before. And the first thing I always encounter over and over again is this idea of getting the data right from the beginning. So I would even go to as far to say like getting the data right is more important than even having like a CRM setup, because if you can't generate the sales by having that top of the funnel right and getting those people into the funnel from the SDR role, you can't really do anything else with them. So don't skimp on tools as far as contact information, all the data that surrounds leads and accounts, and making sure that you have all of that data crisp. Because what happens is your team ends up wasting time. The reply rates end up being super low. Your team isn't able to get in touch with them. And then all of a sudden we're saying crazy things like cold calling is dead and, older methodologies aren't working, when time and again, companies are able to prove that it does in fact work if you have the data right. So there's tons of tools out there that I could, definitely recommend, and not just like one vendor that you could choose from. So that's my tip for today.
Well, that's a good one, because how many times have I visited another company and we talk about campaigns and they go, well, the list isn't any good. And one of they think they're just going to go download a old user list or something and that's going to be work. But what is the statistic? I know it's somewhere close to 30% of data just gets bad every year. Do you think that's accurate from your experience?
Yeah, I would say with that or even more. I'd say if a data provider is 15% or less of the data, that's a pretty good range. Anything over 15% where it's not so good, you should probably consider looking at a different type of tool. But like I said, you can usually tell pretty quickly. And there's so many free trials of products. You can grab a product with a week or two, and you can immediately tell if you're able, by measuring your connect rates, open rates, reply rates, things like that. There are better ways to measure metrics as far as performance of the team and if your messaging is sticking. But as far as like knowing if your data quality is sort of there, you'll be able to tell. But really invest in that. That's like one of the most important things. Don't skimp on that, on those sort of tools. Make sure you're getting like the cream of the crop there. If there is one thing I invested a lot in, is making sure that the data was there, because it'll really help you all throughout the sales cycle, and it'll help your salespeople not waste as much time and really help you move the needle.
Well, look, the takeaway from this conversation for me was something you said. You would get good data, a source of good data, a good data tool before you would implement a CRM. That says it all. So great tip out there. Michael, tell us briefly, Chili Piper, what do you folks do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we help you start valuable conversations straight from your web forms. So a salesperson, instead of chasing down leads, they can just come into work and have sales meetings on their calendars ready to go. And then it also serves as a scheduling tool for them for the rest of the sales process as well.
I use Chili Piper today, and it saves so much back and forth. I love it. In fact, I think you booked the video with me today using your own tool from one of my emails, so we know it works. Thanks a lot for sharing this tip on data. And then finally, best way if someone wants to contact you to further this conversation, how can they reach you?
Yeah, I actually did a LinkedIn post on this topic, so you can find me on LinkedIn. You can also shoot me an email at michael@chilipiper.com. Happy to connect.
All right, Michael, thanks again, everyone. Until next Monday, good selling. Bye-bye.